What's up, guys? Today we're going to show you how a normal guy was able to get a hot girlfriend from Instagram. We're going to show you all the DMs from start to finish so that you guys can do this for yourself. So the backstory here is we were shooting some street interviews and we see a couple where the girl is definitely several points better looking than the guy. So we went up to them and we're like, hey, how'd you guys meet? And the story here was pretty fucking epic.
Couples, how they met? How did you guys meet?
I slid on those DMs on Instagram.
Oh,
and later we're going to show you guys those exact DMs.
You have a good opener?
Do what?
What was your opener?
So number one, don't complicate girls on Instagram about their beauty. It's like every guy says that, every guy does that. You're just gonna be another guy. Talk to them of what is interested for them. In her case, she was doing fitness. So I was like, I love the fitness stuff that you're doing. How long have you been doing it? So statement, ask a question, lead the conversation. Whoever asked the question is.
So he's 100% right. You don't want to be complimenting a girl on her looks, like, yo, that dress is so fat. You don't want to be like copying and pasting pickup lines. Girls are used to that. What you want to do is exactly what he's saying. You're commenting on something that's relevant to her, and then you're asking a follow-up question to get the conversation going. One thing I personally do is I'll just reply to the story. That's even better because that's something that's in the front of the girl's mind. But he's completely right here.
One who leads the conversation and closes the deal.
How did you ultimately transition from like talking about fitness to going on a date?
So it was, I just was natural. I asked about her interest, and then I was like, hey, we'd like to go out and meet in person, and that was it. So I was just ask questions, good conversations, and just pique her interest. And that was really it. Obviously, my Instagram account looked like
the blue check mark.
Blue check mark before it was cool.
Yeah, back then. Now
Back then.
What do you do for work?
So I have an Instagram marketing agency and we help people on sales. So obviously sold myself to her and closed it.
Yeah, I can tell you do sales.
Yeah, so that's what I do, and the same business principles that I do on the business side obviously transition onto the relationship side.
I can personally very much relate to this. I did sales for 5 years, and that's the thing that absolutely skyrocketed my social skills when I was working in sales. And you can tell he came to a lot of the same conclusions the people in the pickup industry came to without actually studying like pickup or formal game. He did that simply through just going out and selling a shitload of things. He's like, hey, I can use some of these concepts when it comes to picking up girls.
So just make sure that you have a good social presence. You don't have a bunch of followers. Just make sure you look presentable, just like when you're going to a business meeting. And talked about what people are interested in, not what you're interested in. Always think about what is in it for her in this case, or for what is in it for other people. And just, that's it.
Did you like him on the first date?
Yeah, he made me talk the entire date.
Again, ask questions.
There you go.
I did not
He was
talk
just
at all.
listening.
We
I
tell
was just
that all the
listening.
time to our students.
Yeah, I was like, ask questions, and whoever asks,
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
whoever asks questions leads the conversation, and people like to talk about themselves at all times.
So he's also completely right here, right? The mistake some guys make is they go on a date and they start ranting about themselves. Yeah, so like when I was 17, I moved to North Carolina and I love snowboarding and paintball, right? The girl doesn't give a shit. She's tuning out. The only people who care about like the things you have to say would probably be either your close friends or your family. Everyone else doesn't give a shit, right? People want to talk about themselves. People want to have fun. So what you want to do instead is ask questions about things that are relevant to the girl, and then you build on what she says, right? And then what I like to do is go one step further and use the we frame. So an example of that, I might ask the girl, be like, so do you like to go to the gym? She'd be like, yeah, I do. I'm a big fan of fitness. I'd be like, oh, cool, yeah. Well, I feel like we're going to be that workout fucking couple. You know what I mean? I'm going to be fucking, you know, like I don't know, you're just building on what she's saying and you're talking about you two as a unit.
Especially women.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, especially women. And whoever asks the most questions typically leads the conversation, and that's it. So that's what I did.
Cool, awesome. How long have you guys been together for?
So that was 2021. So 2 years and a half.
Yeah,
Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
And this was really cool to see because while this guy's, you know, pretty decent looking, right? He's not a bad looking guy. The girl's definitely like, you know, 1, 2, 3 points better than his level of looks, right? And he was able to attract her through confidence, charisma, and understanding good social skills, and so can you. Now we're gonna take a look at the actual Instagram exchange. We stay in touch. I had him send me over all the screenshots and see what exactly he said to get her out on the initial date. So this guy was kind enough to send me the full Instagram Instagram conversation led up to their first date. Unfortunately, it was in Spanish, but we were able to translate everything because I want you guys to see these screenshots. There might be some mild translation errors, but it should more or less be on point. So he opens her with, I love what you do and how you work here with the whole fitness thing. How long have you been doing that on YouTube and Instagram? So he's following exactly what he said. Makes a statement about something she's interested in and then asks her questions, right? And this is a pretty decent opener. I would do something like that too. She says, thank you. In quarantine, I started focusing, and then a smiley face. So she's investing, you know, she's not giving him one word answers. She's giving him something to work with, which is good. If you see girls giving you one word answers, it's probably time to move on because she's not going to be serious about meeting up with. He says, that's great. The truth is there are a few things that are more attractive in terms of character than that. What part of Colombia are you from? So this is good. He's qualifying her, right? He's rewarding her answer. That's good. This is a pickup tactic, actually. He just probably discovered it intuitively. She says, I was born in Bogota. Where are you from? He says, my family's from France. I was born in Dominican Republic. How long did you come to Miami? Now look, what I might do in a situation like this is I do like to ask questions, but sometimes I just make statements and create room for the girl to invest. So if a girl says I was in Bogota, I would say something like, you're a rolla. And that's the slang term for girls from Bogota, and that's it. And then typically a girl will be like, oh my God, how do you know there? Or have you been there, right? So I like to alternate asking questions and making statements and creating room for the girl to invest. She says, super, and you follow 6 years and you, I have a time that I do not go because I've been working a lot and then COVID hit and they closed the country. So he's talking about traveling back to Dominican Republic. In here, I guess she doesn't really reply. She just hearts his message. We can be frustrating, but you gotta be persistent because any attractive girl you're talking to on Instagram is getting hit up by hundreds and hundreds of guys, right? You have to be persistent. I've seen countless interactions of guys who met up with really attractive girls from Instagram cold DMs. Pretty much every single one of those involved the guy being persistent and sometimes double and triple texting. So here he waits a little bit and then he replies to the story, Miami almost 2 years. So I guess it's like an inside joke. We can't really see the story. And then he says, by the way, happy birthday. I saw you fulfilled recently. How do you spend your day? Oh, how sad. Everything will get better soon. Okay, I don't understand what that's referring to, but by the way, happy birthday. Okay, so she says, thank you so much. The divine pass, I already celebrated, enough, lol. So he says, I hope so. What did you get to do for your birthday? As a family, we went to dinner and with my friends, a Brian brunch, right? And as a side note, it's a good sign, like when a girl spends her birthday with her family, I mean, she's more family oriented. If a girl has a good relationship with her family, she's more likely to be a good girlfriend than the girl who has a shitty relationship with like everyone in her life. So he says, I've never been to Brian brunch. I'm assuming it's a restaurant. What part of Miami do you live? So we're going to censor this for privacy information, but part of Miami. He says, right now I live in blank, but until recently I lived in Davie, which is about 10 minutes from. How long ago did you start fitness and stuff? I remember that I saw you in a comedy skit. It was good. She says, blah, 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 is here next door, 2 years. Judicious, yeah. Which one with Arepa? I think it was a while ago. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I do know it was like someone who makes videos with Marco. And here it's not really clear if she doesn't respond and he just double texts her later on, or he's sending 2 texts back to back. He says, you do an excellent job with this. I used to do fitness because I played pro soccer and that, and it was like an epic fall on the networks. Yeah, sure, that what a top, what do you do? So she's asking questions about him. That is a good sign. Right now I have a consulting and marketing agency. And by the way, are you free Wednesday or Thursday night? I would love to be able to go out for food or drinks, but it's going to be something fit or fat so you don't miss a beat. Now, the one thing I would change here is I wouldn't say food or drinks. I would just say we should grab drinks sometime soon. Are you free Wednesday or Thursday? But aside from that, it's pretty good. She says, thank you because on Friday I travel very early. Tomorrow I have class until 8:30. Weekend Thursday, but not so late. He says, okay, what would be something not so late because it is relative? That's true. She says, haha, yeah. She says 5 p.m. He says, oh wow, super early, yes. At that time, the traffic is to die for, especially when I leave downtown. Would you like to maybe make it 7 or 8 and we come back early before midnight Cinderella style? And she says, sounds good, haha. And from here on, it's logistics, and they have their first date. And here they are 2 years later. So I think his texting is decent. You know, he follows the right principles in terms of keeping the girl engaged, not coming off as a creep. I would say the only thing that I would add is a little bit more kind of like that sexual humor they like to bring, kind of more flirty remarks. But again, everyone's style is different. Right, hopefully you guys found this video valuable, and there's multiple takeaways here. If you're gonna be sliding into girls' DMs on Instagram, don't do some copy-paste opener or go super sexual. Talk about something that seems that she's passionate about, or reply to one of her stories, right? Ask questions and slowly build up the vibe, right? And then you can get a little bit more flirty, a little bit more sexual, but don't go sexual right off the bat. I think that's very important unless your Instagram profile is Dan Bilzerian style. Number 2 is also make sure that you are persistent, because the hot girls are getting DM to death, so you're gonna have to be persistent over text and potentially in person for you to get, you know, a solid outcome, right? And when you're on the date, don't just blabber about yourself, don't just go on tangents, ask interesting questions and build on those questions, and that's how you're gonna get a lay, a fuck buddy, or a girlfriend. And I think the ultimate thing here is just motivation. I think it's pretty good to see a guy who's able to score an attractive girl just by having good social skills, being confident, being charismatic, right? And basically being persistent, going for what he wants, which I think is very powerful. If you guys want to see his Instagram, the link is in the description. And if you haven't already, make sure you download a free Tinder ebook. Link is also in the description. In there, we teach you guys how to create a good profile, how to text a girl, what's a good bio, and all that kind of stuff. And it's absolutely free, so you have nothing to lose. Thank you for watching, and until next time.